So, a Reddit user recently shared a story where they had a stranger turn up on their front doorstep at 3 a.m. All right, they got the notification about half an hour later on their phone, but it turns out the guy was hanging around there for a couple of minutes and was doing something with his phone. He didn't try to force entry, he didn't do any damage, he just left. But for this person that shared the story, it was a bit of a wake up call for them and for their family. And this is actually becoming more and more common because as families are putting up security cameras everywhere, um, they're becoming more aware of the activity that's going on around their property on a 24/7 basis. And so this is happening more. So the question is, when you have a security incident or near miss or a test like this happen, how do you use that as a golden opportunity to go, all right, this happened. What do we learn from that? What do we do next? So today we're going to break this down a little bit and we're going to look at, okay, great, what next? Okay, let's discuss. So by the way, if you're watching this video, there's a pretty good bet you're well aware of the increased crime level that's going on in the community and you just feel like things are getting a little bit too close to home. If you have not ever seen a home invasion checklist and you're curious what it looks like if you were ready and prepared for a home invasion, I've actually done a checklist for you. Okay, it's completely free. If you go to homesecurityworkshop.com, jump on the exclusive email list, you will get a checklist. It's a one-page PDF. It's easy. You can do it, put it on file, and then how you have a plan in place, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But that is something I've spoken about in another video recently, specifically on home invasion, which is where this could have gone if it went sideways. But that's something that's available for you completely free. You can get it straight away. Okay, awesome. Now let's talk about this, break this down a little bit. So as I mentioned before, this security incident, obviously harmless, nothing, no property was damaged, no one was hurt, the guy didn't come inside. Could have just been like a lost Uber Eats delivery person. Who knows? Who knows? But the point is, treat it like it's a test. It's like an opportunity. It's like a golden opportunity for you to do to analyze that and see what actually you could do better. These sort of events, there's always things that you can learn out of it, and it's sort of road test your systems and see how did actually things go in real life. The way I'm looking at it, there's 3 takeaways from this. Okay, so the biggest takeaway, if I had something like this happen at my house, or if you had something like this happen at your house, you'd want to make extra sure that you're, first of all, denying access at that front door. You should probably put your very best security at the front door for a couple of reasons. It's probably the first place that people are going to see, the first point of entry that people are going to see on your house, particularly if it's visible from the street and people are driving past and having a look to see which houses seem vulnerable. If your entry has no signs that you put any kind of security, anything in place, that would probably make your house look a little bit more vulnerable. On the other hand, if there are obvious signs that you have done some work on securing the entry of your house, that presents a different story, and it's going to make your property less attractive to people that want to do this sort of stuff. So denying access is the biggest deal. I mean, we're talking about, for thousands of years, denying access has been probably the highest priority of security and the most primitive, the most effective way to keep people out. Gates, walls, bars, all these sort of things. Today we've got, sophisticated full strength security screen doors. We've got security film for glass, all this stuff. It all basically helps create a barrier between good guys and bad guys, and this is something you've got to get right. So at your front door, it's about, as I mentioned, having a really top quality triple locking security screen door. It's about using your locks that you have, because it's no good having the latest, greatest, amazing security doors and features in place if you're not actually locking the thing. So the habits that sort of make use of that quality technology are just as important. And then if you have any glass at the entryway, like a side light kind of a thing, that's free to look at as well. So you could put screen over that, you can put film on that, security film, but denying access at the front door, I think, is probably the most important thing that you can do, just to present that that image of security. And if it gets tested, you want it to actually be secure, so you need to do a good job there. Enough said? Probably. All right, the second thing that I want to point out, this one, is just detection. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this, because if you can detect someone's presence at that front door, particularly if it's in the middle of the night, or if during the day for that matter, the precious time that you have between the moment of detection when someone comes onto your front door, and when you know about it, that span of time right there, if it's long or if it's short, gives you the chance to react to that. And the reaction we'll talk about as well in a minute as well. But the detection is a really big deal. So you want that precious time to be able to respond, because it's unlikely that that person's going to be trying to come through your front door. However, in the event that they are, that time could be life-saving. I've worked with clients that has been life-saving for them, and it's made all the difference between things going poorly and things going relatively well. So detection's a big deal. In this case, they did have a video doorbell, which did detect the person. Obviously, a notification flicked up on the person's phone, but for whatever reason, the user didn't get that until a half an hour later, which everybody's got their own sort of systems on how I want to set this thing up, and what sort of notification do you want to have in the middle of the night, potentially from your phone buzzing next to your bed, if that's how you set it up. But having a video doorbell, they're so cheap and accessible, and just, you don't have to pay a lot to get a pretty good quality video doorbell that will notify you straight away or within seconds when someone's on your doorstep. So it makes it really easy to recommend. Just put something like that in place. I particularly like the ones where there's a light, some kind of sensor on the doorbell, so that when someone approaches that doorbell, it lights up. And I've seen instances where, and there's plenty of instances to the contrary, but in some cases, if someone knows that their presence has been detected there because the doorbell illuminates, that's something. It's saying, hey, we see you, we know you're here, which should be fine for a guest, but also someone who's uninvited. So I like those sort of features built into a video doorbell. A contact alarm is another thing. It's a type of sensor that you can put on a hinge door or a sliding door that has a couple of simple contacts that are usually, I think, magnetic, that when those two contacts part, so you've got one sensor on the door frame and one sensor on the door itself, and when those sensors part, it either causes an alarm or it sends a notification to your phone, or both, or just a chime sort of thing. But that, I think, is also a really simple and even more affordable way to have some kind of audible alarm that happens when that door is opened. So if that guy did try to come through that door, in that case, an alarm, 100 decibel alarm, would be sounding straight away. These devices you can get for cheap at your hardware store or on Amazon. So again, it's just get one, just put it in place, learn how to use it, build it into your nightly routine, so that all of your doors, if someone's going to try to come through, whether it's a hinge door or a sliding door, it could be a garage door or whatever you've got, these sensors are pretty effective. There's going to be obviously a little bit of manual input for you to be able to switch them on at night and switch them off during the day, or you might have it on alarm mode at night and then on chime during the day. So if someone comes through that door, it just chimes instead of setting off the whole alarm. But really, really useful, and I think really valuable to your overall system. So again, the detection there. The last part of the detection is just lighting. So you want, in that case where someone turns up on your doorstep in the middle of the night, for floodlights to just click on the second they step onto the porch or the doorstep or whatever it is, so that they're illuminated. Again, that's just detecting, oh, they're there. It probably stuns them a little bit. Oh, okay, I'm illuminated. And it's going to make it less attractive for somebody to want to spend time at your front doorstep. Or this could be your back door, could be side entry. Ideally, to have all of your entries at least covered with sensor lighting like this. The light doesn't necessarily need to be on all night. I think it is helpful to have one solid light on that's street facing all night, so that if someone's going to approach your property, they're going to have to do it in the light. But then also sensor lighting. So if they try to approach from a darker part of the yard, they'll still get lit up. So I think that's some detection. If you can put the lighting in place, the video in place, and the video doorbell, if that is, and then a contact alarm, those things are going to make a huge difference, and also in your confidence level that you're going to do a pretty good job detecting somebody that comes onto your property. So we covered deny access, we covered detection, and the last thing is just planning. So we're kind of talking about this already, but if you have had an incident like this take place, you can go, okay, well, if that happened again, what can we do a little bit better next time? What if that person came into the house? What would we do then? It doesn't take that much effort to put together a little simple one-page plan, and which I've mentioned already. I've done this for you, but you want to do this before the next security incident happens. And it's not something you have to go to great lengths to do, as I mentioned, and I will again in a minute, but just take the plan that I've got. I've set up a checklist for you that was stemmed from a horrendous home invasion that took place in Cairns in Queensland, in the last couple of months. So, and I think every family deserves to have a plan like that in place, just so that you can sleep a little bit easier. Obviously not every community has got the same level of risk for that sort of crime taking place, but you should still prepare, because it is your responsibility and my responsibility to protect our family. So having some planning that's in place would be a really, really smart thing for you to do for your family. It's almost like a gift you're giving them. And for more on that topic, go and see a recent video that I did recently on home invasion and stopping home invasion, and you'll see we explore that topic a little bit more. But being able to think through that in advance, put a plan in place, is a big deal. All right. So just to wrap up, so when you have something like this happen, just double check that you're able to do a good job denying access. This is something I've spoken a little bit more in depth in the home security workshop. So if you're getting that checklist, you're also getting access to the home security workshop, which will go through more in depth different ways that you can secure that your points of entry on your home. So denying access, detection, those various modes of detection that I mentioned earlier, and then finally just having a plan. So one last plug, if you haven't, go to homesecurityworkshop.com, get on the exclusive email list. You will get in your inbox straight away the PDF download for the home invasion checklist. You'll get Home Security Workshop. There's so much in there. It's all completely free. There's really no reason why you shouldn't grab that stuff. If you at all have an inkling that you want to do better on home security, that's the place to start. At a minimum, jump on the list. You will get this stuff here. You can engage with it straight away, or if you want to engage with it when you have a couple of minutes to look at it, do that. At least get the ball rolling so you know that you've taken some kind of action for yourself and for your family. All right. Did I get on my notes? Yeah, I did. Okay. Really appreciate you hanging out, spending a bit of time with me. And I will see you in the next one. Have an awesome day.